athletic, bold, commanding. We're talking about the Equinox EV, which helps you show up in style. We got a big show today, a lot of Ryder Cup hype. The Europeans could be a serious, and I mean serious problem. Rory McIlroy is getting Rory chants going as he's winning hometown national opens. However, the United States domination at Cypress Point in the Walker Cup. Stewart Hagestad, we call him. You know, we discuss with him sort of his stature in the amateur game as a 34-year-old finance executive, just dusting these kids from GB&I. We take voicemails. So it's a lovely show we got today, gents, brought to you by Chevy.
All brought to you by Chevy. And yeah, it's a great show. We, as we say, we're just kind of in a waiting game right now with the Ryder Cup. It feels like we've been talking about it forever, and it feels like it's still forever away. And that's exciting. And also just, you know, it gets on your nerves a little bit how we're just not getting balls in the air yet. You want it to be here. You want to be able to experience it, but you got to let it simmer. You got to let it build. All that anticipation is building. Cannot wait for it. Yeah, just another great week here on Long Island for me. I cannot wait to get all this going.
Same. And you know what else you can get going is you can get 319 miles of EPA estimated electric range with front-wheel drive with the Chevy Equinox EV. It's got the massive 17-inch diagonal center screen, the largest of any EV in its class. When it comes to EVs, Equinox EV is the smartest choice you can make. Let's talk some golf.
If I could play in the John Deere, I really think like I would have Tiger-like crowds at the tour championship behind me. I really think it'd be like the Messiah. It'd be really fun.
Foreplay, presented by Barstool Sports. We are a couple weeks out from the 2025 Ryder Cup. Quick reminder, please grab your merchandise. I think that well, first of all, we sold out of some things right away, so big thanks to everybody as always. But I think that the polo that I'm rocking, I think they got a little lost in translation how nice the print is. I think once we started highlighting that, these things started flying off the shelves. But we put, in all these merchandise meetings that we're in, they put a lot of mock-ups up there. We're like, those look awesome. And then this we really kind of wrangled with on the print, on what should be in the cool little print. It's subtle at first, but when you look at it, we got the Bethpage boy in there. We got the Ryder Cup trophy in there, a couple golf things in there, and the prints really pop. Just a quick reminder that the Ryder Cup gear, you could still order it. You got a couple weeks, order it, have it delivered to your place of residence. And then that weekend, if you're posting up with a bunch of buddies at your home, if you're going to Bethpage, which my parents are now going to Bethpage for their first Ryder Cup, which I'm extremely excited about. But if you're going there, whatever, you can get all the gear and be ready to rock. So this is as cool as stuff as, our logo combined with the Ryder Cup shield and all that is like a surreal moment. And so we want to make sure everybody gets as much of it as you can.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. Shout out to our team for being able to, knock all this out of the park in terms of the graphics and all that stuff that's on the actual shirt. Yes, it is definitely getting lost in translation how good that shirt is because we have so many things on sale. So many things are going crazy. They're all selling out. The hats are flying off the shelves. But yeah, a nice clean golf polo that says Bethpage Black with the Ryder Cup logo. The fact that that's produced and made by Barstool Sports. Awesome stuff.
Yeah, and it will be on site, but that Ryder Cup, as we've talked about a lot, almost for the last month or so now, is going to be chaotic. There's going to be a lot of people there, and that tent is going to be full of people. So if you want to get it beforehand, order on the website, comes right to your door. It's an easier way to get it.
Yep, facts only. All right, speaking of Ryder Cup, I believe, did I see on the calendar this week, we've got the Barstool Ryder Cup is premiering, the 2025 Ryder Cup, second edition.
I think that's right. Yeah.
I think it's Tuesday. It's on my little calendar here. We got a nice calendar as a Tuesday launch. If anybody could clarify that date or if that's a wrong date, let me know. But otherwise, if folks don't or aren't familiar, 2 years ago, we kind of had this idea. I think Frankie came up with the idea. We went to Dave, went to all of Barstool, get it together and said, hey, leading up to the actual Ryder Cup, which was in Rome a couple years ago, there's so many people in the Barstool world, universe, that are into golf, even more so nowadays. But let's get people together. Let's figure out a way to do two different teams. Let's do our own version of a Ryder Cup. We'll call it the Ryder Cup because pretty much everyone at Barstool on the content side, for the most part, started as some sort of a writer or a blogger or something related to it. So that was our little pun. Ryder Cup, cool. It turned into some of the most intense videos we've ever put out. There was a point where myself and Dave Portnoy against Frank Borelli III and a one Kirk Minahan, where I thought someone was going to get hit in the face. I thought someone was going to get physical. It was as intense, screaming, walkie-talkies, personal, just as nuts as it gets. Dave and Frankie's relationship, mine and Kirk's relationship and history, all of it coming together. And that was just one out of like 20 matches or however 10 matches that there were in that whole thing. It came down to the last hole. And the Big Cat team, which Frankie was on and Kirk, ended up getting the win against myself, and Arian Foster and Trent were kind of the three horses for our team. And people loved it. The videos were great. Dave was like, let's do that every 2 years. So now we're back. We got a larger field. PFT, Whitney, Biz kind of joined the fray. A larger field, and the Ryder Cup 2025 edition is beginning this week. And once again, the stakes are incredibly high, gents.
Incredibly high. And there's a lot of drama going into it. If you've been following the Barstool universe, if you watch the Unnamed show and stuff like that. So it was a lot of fun to get to a golf course to kind of settle it all on the course. And it definitely plays out the way that you would think. It's very, very fun. And yeah, it's just a great time to get the whole entire company together, essentially on the golf side. And, there's some shocking people, there's some really good golfers that you don't see golf that often. So I think people will be pretty excited to see that. And I think that's going on the main Barstool YouTube. So make sure you check that out. I think they're going to be doing multiple episodes a week release. And we're going to try and get this all out before the actual Ryder Cup. So we're going to be throwing a lot at you. I think on our channel, we'll be going a little bit dark for a couple of weeks, just, for people that don't really know the behind the scenes of it. The last couple of weeks, we've only been putting out a couple videos. Our guys have been working on the Ryder Cup and the Internet Invitational like you wouldn't believe. So it definitely takes away from putting out like a Breaking 85 or like a Riggs Hater. Like when these guys work on a video, we've got 4 or 5 guys working full time on all these things. It's a lot, man. It's a lot to handle, especially with those huge, huge projects like the Ryder Cup, and the Internet Invitational is something that you can't even wrap your head around. 50-something microphones going at once for 9
I don't know how the fuck
straight
anybody's
hours.
Gonna edit that. I don't know how any human being could edit that. And
yeah,
we were 30 minutes into night 1 of the Ryder Cup, or the Internet Invitational at Big Cedar Lodge. And I remember just looking around, having a moment, being like, no one on earth could edit this. Impossible. How could anyone edit this?
Dude, I flew with our guy, Brendan Jones, last week when we were wherever, we're everywhere. And yeah, I was talking to him, I was like, so what's that Internet Invitational edit going to look like? And he just had like a 10,000 yard stare. And we're talking about the best in the business. Like there's a reason our guys are editing, is because they know how to make incredible golf videos, and they've been doing it with us for almost 10 years. So it's like, these are the guys. And he was just like, fuck, it's a shit ton of work. That's like unprecedented. It's really never been done, this type of edit.
Yeah, Brendan and his whole team have the whole thing. So, I mean, it's that might be shocking to some people, but they are editing every single aspect of it. So it's a lot. There's 48 players. There's all these microphones. So long story short, it does take a little bit away from our videos that we want to go put out. We know that we want to put out consistent videos, podcasts, and all these things. You got to keep up with, the algorithm, and YouTube won't put out your video if you don't get a lot of videos out in a month. There's a whole thing. So, some of our videos might get suppressed by it, and it is what it is. Like, it's just the nature of the beast. We've got a huge, huge project coming up in the Internet Invitational. We're so excited about it. We know it's going to take over golf YouTube. Us and Bob Does Sports, that'll be going on those channels. So, but yeah, if you see a little bit of a lapse in those videos in the next coming weeks, that's because they're working on the Ryder Cup. We don't want to step on those toes. We want to make sure we get that out, and that's that. So make sure you go watch it. It's going to be incredible drama that you can't miss.
Yeah, the Ryder Cup coming up this week, next week. Folks realize too that, I mean, there was going into that, I believe Kirk Minahan was refusing to be on there was team Riggs, team Whitney, where we were the 2 captains. He said he would not participate if he was drafted onto my team. So the first episode begins with the draft and the matchups and all of it. We are at Great Horse in Western Massachusetts, which is a delightful private club. The Antonacci family, which the father of the family is in the horse racing scene with Dave. I believe they've gone to, what's the one in London? Do we ever remember the name of this? We couldn't come up with it last time. But I know they've spent time together, maybe in the same box and all that. at whatever the really like the Kentucky Derby of London is or England is. So a lot of history, great horse. This guy's really into horses.
Derby?
Really. That might be it.
No,
That might
is that
be
what it is? Isn't that the soccer thing?
Mm.
We're sounding like a couple of Americans, which I'm actually happy about, but we're sounding like a couple of Americans.
Peaky
We
Blinders
should
is one of
sound-
the Derby, and I feel like that was a race,
American.
a horse race.
London. Horse.
But so the
Ascot.
the whole
Ah!
Ascot.
That's
So-
one of those things that will forever escape the three brains on this show. Talk to us in a week, and we're like, "What's that London horse?"
third time we tried to come up with that since we did the Great Horseshoe, and none of us were even fucking close. But
Nope.
the point still stands that the Great Horse, the country club, it's got a pool with cabanas. They basically took over this land that I believe was like kind of an older course there, public. And over the last, I don't know how long, let's call it 10, 15 years, they have poured a bunch of resources into it and made it. If this place, it's like an hour and a half or so from Boston. If this place were an hour closer to Boston, it would be like $500,000 initiation fee to join this place, in my opinion. It is just phenomenal. It's got awesome views, great food. The staff's elite. It's got such a cool, that part of Massachusetts. It's such a community out there. And then the golf course is really cool. A ton of bunkers, just so people are aware of that, ready for that. Amazing amount of bunkers out there. Just so many bunkers. But, a tough golf course. And there are a lot of iconic matchups that I think people have been waiting for a couple of years that came out over 2 days of filming. I had a very fun experience where to get there, we had a Barstool Classic on Monday in Arizona, and then Tuesday was like day one of the Ryder Cup, and me and Biz did a red eye together and then shared a car together for like an hour and a half, 2 hours at like 9 a.m. And, if people have seen the Biz spitting chiclets, all the clips about his eating habits, and me and Biz, when we landed, he like had the car service guy stop at this like really nice kind of like brunchy breakfast place in Boston, and he just ordered an amazing, hilarious amount of food. And just seeing Biz in his element, I fucking love that guy. He cracks me up, and we ended up having him on the show like a day later. So those that listen to the pod, that show that we had Biz on was kind of from this whole week of filming. Vibes were high, all of it, and I think people are going to love the video. So stay tuned for the Ryder Cup. All right. Now, speaking of Ryder Cup and all of that, the European team continues to be what I would call, in all capital letters, a fucking problem. We got Rory McIlroy at the Irish Open. Guy loves national opens. He makes a 30-foot eagle putt on the 72nd hole to force a playoff, then goes birdie, birdie, birdie in the playoff to win the Irish Open. The crowds were going fucking nuts. These clips gave me the chills. Rory in his post-round presser after. First, he did the watch thing where he put on his nice watch, which I love watching all these athletes at the highest level do. Alcaraz, Sinner, they're all doing it over the course of the week. Scotty does it. Tiger always did it. The second they finish, it's so funny to me. They win this massive golf tournament. Emotions are crazy. They're high-fiving. They're doing usually fucked up celebrations with their caddies and all that. And then they go to their bag real quick like they're a fucking insurance salesman who's got to grab his wallet and tip the caddy and all that. And they grab their watch, put it on, and then he does the interview. So they were trying to get him to do the interview. It took him a second, put the watch on. And then as he was doing the interview, the crowd was so loud, he could barely get through the interview. They were doing the Olay chant, but to Rory, they were like, Rory,
Yeah.
Rory, 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 right in the camera. And it gave me the chills, and also gave me some extreme fear going into the Ryder Cup of just how big of a problem these Europeans are. Tommy and Rory hugging each other. I think Frankie called it out one time, maybe at the Ryder Cup last year or 2 years ago, where the Euros have that thing where they put their hands on each other's faces when they it's just such a different level of camaraderie. Maybe neck, they do some necking.
Neck,
and
face.
it's just, they're a problem, man. The Europeans are a problem.
Yeah, I would say my number one concern going into the Ryder Cup is that it appears that Rory is having the best year of his life. So I don't know if that's going to stop once he gets to Bethpage. And he alluded to that in the interview. He was like, I'm just having a great year. I'm winning the Players. I'm winning the Masters. I'm completing the career Grand Slam, a bunch of things in between there. And then I won the Irish Open. So in terms of momentum, I don't think you can have more momentum than Rory and Team Europe has. And all the conversations around the Ryder Cup are the ones that we've been having where you look at the DraftKings Sportsbook, and I don't know what it is right now, but the European team
still plus 150,
which is insane. Every conversation I have with everybody is that and it's usually Americans, they're like, we're super nervous because the Europeans have nothing to lose. They currently hold the Ryder Cup. They're going on, foreign soil where they're not expected to win, but I still feel like they should.
Same team.
Same team, except the twin thing, which is like a beer fest thing where you just swap in one guy for the other. And, I don't want to, and I'm not saying this as like almost a motivation for the American team where I'm like, I think you guys are I don't understand why you guys are the favorites, because I actually feel that way. Like it should be a pick'em. This should absolutely 100% be a pick'em. And the only reason the Americans are favored is because it's at Bethpage Black. It has nothing to do with the teams. If it were strictly based on the teams, and we've talked about this, Team Europe would have the upper hand. I'm fairly confident in that.
Yeah, obviously the course setup has a lot to do with it, which is something that we always overlook. We overlooked it in Rome. We're going to overlook it here. I think that the captains on the U.S. side are probably pretty confident in the fact that they'll be able to maneuver their way around Bethpage Black better than the European team. I think the people that are setting the lines probably think that as well. But just like we said last show, once the balls are in the air, that first group goes off. It doesn't go the United States way. That line's going to flip like you wouldn't believe. So if you do want to bet the United States, I would say get your pre Ryder Cup bets in for sure. But like I'm definitely for the winner of it. I'm gonna live bet that thing. I'm gonna wait until things get a little hairy, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna know that our horses on the United States are going to get us the victory towards the end. This is not going to be won on Friday. That's for sure.
If this was any other event in the world, I would be seeing the value play and betting upon Europe right now. I think it's like if I could find a football game and I could be like, oh, you're telling me that it's a pick'em. Everyone that knows football believes it's a pick'em. It's a coin toss, but one team is plus 150 and your USA is minus 145. And I'm with Trent. Every person I talk to, sitting around 19th hole, having a beer after the round of golf, everybody's like, are they still favored? Are they still favored? Now, I do, like the last 10 Ryder Cups have been won by the home team. The last one that wasn't was 2012, which was the Miracle of Medina, where it took a monumental collapse on the last hour, 2 hours of Sunday singles for the U.S. not to win. Otherwise, it would be like 20 years since the away team has won a Ryder Cup. So you're absolutely right. You have to factor all that in. But, I do think that the Ryder Cup, it's been evolving so much, which we discussed a lot over the last couple shows. It's laughable to consider like when Arnie was a playing captain versus Keegan and what he was facing and the decision that he was facing and how commercialized it is, how much bigger it is, all of that stuff. And I think that it's now evolved too where, they're almost not caring as much now about like satisfying those legends of the game or legends of the era that are like due a Ryder Cup captaincy. And they're instead just picking whoever the fuck they think is going to give them the most chance to win, and that's it. And I mean that with like Luke Donald. Like Luke Donald, it's almost this accidental brilliance that happened where it was supposed to be Henrik Stenson, and then Liv occurred, and then they went with Luke Donald, and then Luke Donald started speaking perfect Italian, giving speeches to people, and their team just absolutely wiped the floor with the America team coming off the most dominant Ryder Cup victory ever, with a team that was absolutely stacked going into Rome. Everyone was thinking like, man, if there's one really, really negative from the whole Liv thing, it's that the European Ryder Cup team was like pillaged by Liv. Like a bunch of their studs, a bunch of their go-to guys weren't able to be on the team. If you remember, like Ludwig wasn't even a thing yet. He was like just out of high school, it feels like. And they put him on the team and they go out to Rome and absolutely steamroll us. And then leading up to this one, I'm almost nervous that I don't think I've seen Luke Donald in 2 fucking years. And it's like, and it's all about Keegan and it's all about the Americans, all about Bethpage. And these Europeans, they're grabbing each other's necks. They're touching each other's faces. Who knows what Luke Donald's doing behind the scenes? Because like I said, I see Keegan twice a day. I see Keegan on my timeline. He's doing something. He's either winning a tournament or he's making some, decision. How is he going to pull this? He's giving some hype thing, all that. I never see Luke Donald, and he's just going to appear as like this perfect captain that is such a problem behind the scenes. So yeah, I'm very nervous. I obviously will not bet upon Europe. I'm not going to go through any of that stuff again. It's all this is a must-win Ryder Cup for the United States of America. This would take care of a lot of negatives that have happened in the history of the Ryder Cup. The Phil press conference with Tom Watson, the fact that they've been favored in whatever 80 or 90% of these things and only won, not that many of them over the last 2 decades. This would there's many, if you're like in college football, if you're a Michigan or Ohio State fan, you don't have a great year, but then you win that game against your rival. They say that just makes the whole year, no matter what else happened. This would make the next couple decades, I think, really, if the U.S. could go out there with Keegan, with Europe feeling like they have a lot of momentum at such a venue. You're in New York. It's about as iconic of a place as we could play this thing, is our biggest city, commerce, trade, the center of the financial world. It's New York, and we're inviting the world to it, and we need to beat them. And if we do, with Keegan, who's a 39-year-old captain, all of that, I really do think it would change the narrative over the last couple decades of fuck yeah, we won the really big one.
Also, the thing that we're not thinking about is the world has changed over the years so much that this European team you got guys that do live over there. I mean, Tommy Fleetwood lives in Dubai, but all these guys, they play so much American golf, it will make your head spin. It's not the 1940s or 60s where they're coming over here and they're going to play our big golf course, and here he comes rounding third base. That's not happening anymore. Rory McIlroy dominates American golf course. He won he won the Masters and the Players. These are just as American golf courses as you can possibly imagine, right?
And Pebble Beach.
Guys are winning Pebble Beach, right? So Sepp Straka has a more southern accent than Kevin Kisner. These guys live in Jupiter, Florida. It's hilarious to think that the setup at Bethpage, what are we talking about? I know the way that they grew up, and I know that they have the certain shots, and I know that certain games or certain layouts benefit other types of players. But do you know what I'm saying? Things have changed, man. They're not living in frickin', the hills of England anymore. They're just living next to the coffee shop by Robbie Berger and Grant Horvat, literally next to Trent in Tequesta. That's where they are. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're neighbors with Justin Thomas. We got to go to Bethpage. Okay, I've got a house in the Hamptons. I play there all the time.
They're going to get there before half of our team. Cantlay and Morikawa are live farther away from Bethpage than these guys.
I think so.
It's an hour and 20-minute flight for 90% of the European team. And it used to be, the Americans were the bombers, so they would set it up accordingly. Rory McIlroy is the best driver of the golf ball in history, and they've got Jon Rahm. And the game of golf has sort of leveled out in terms of where you're from doesn't really necessitate what your game is like. It's everybody hits the ball a million yards. Everybody does that. Everybody's got great wedges. Everybody's got great everything. So to think that the setup of Bethpage Black, which it's obviously a big ballpark, it's not going to affect people like it did 100 years ago. It's just not.
Ryan Richardson, could we throw up the what was the leaderboard at Bethpage during the PGA Championship? I want to see if I see any familiar names up there to see how they. This was the 2019 PGA Championship.
Who Sneaky played well that week is Jordan Spieth.
2019. Sorry,
Jordan Spieth played well that week, and we have actually our 3 best Americans that week, I believe, aren't on the team anymore. I think it was Brooks DJ, and Jordan Spieth.
The thing I remember most from that was Harold Varner having a great 3 rounds, and I think he shot an 80 in the 4th round.
We got Shane Lowry with a T8.
Pete Cantlay.
Patrick Cantlay's up there.
Luke List
McIlroy was up there.
Rory just another top 10 in a major. Shocking.
Yep. Xander. All right, these are good. This is a good sign.
Matt Kuchar had a good week.
Yep. Brent Snedeker. Are you kidding me? The other guy's not so much.
Sned's assistant captain.
Sam Burn. All right, but there you go. See, you got Justin Rose up there. These guys can get it done.
Keegan Bradley, top 29, T29.
We sound like Mike Francesa. We're just going
a little bit.
I like that. That's good.
30, 31, 32, 33.
There's so many bowl games.
30,
There's
41.
just so many bowl games.
JJ Spawn, 54.
Okay.
Cameron Champ. Where's Cameron Champ right now?
Man, what a great question that I don't have an answer to. he was the next guy. He like could hit the ball a million miles, and it was like wow,
fully
this
outfitted by Nike. He was like,
Yeah.
He could hit it forever.
Whenever a guy gets that, when he gets that like full outfitting by a apparel company, you're like, they think he's the next one. And like Cameron Champ, every time he stepped up to a golf course, I felt like he was going to be the next guy. Like they did that with Tony Finau also, where it's like you saw Tony Finau and you're like, oh shit, they think he's going to be the next guy. He's going to be on all the billboards. Cameron Champ for a hot second had that same feel. But just to, put a bow on that, I didn't see anything glaringly, I mean, all the guys that are playing the Ryder Cup, like the Justin Roses, the Rory McIlroys, the Shane Lowrys, they're up there. They're in the top 25, top 30. That's what you'd expect. They've been the best players for Europe for over the last, decade or so. So, wow. I can't wait, man. I can't freaking wait.
Do you think, I guess the answer would be no, but I'm hoping for some singles matchups. Like, imagine if we get Scotty Rory in a singles match at Bethpage Black with like a tight Ryder Cup. Oh, wow. You just went dark.
You all right? You're what happened?
Damn, dude.
The lights went out on Frankie Borelli.
Did the thought of that match hit so hard that like your house decided to set the mood?
It took out the grid. The thought of a Rory Scotty probably. I hope. I mean, I would obviously love to see that happen.
Damn. I think like the warmness died out. Is that possible? Oh no, there we are.
I'm not sure what you mean when you say warmness.
You can make a light like warm or cool, and this light I have switches between warm and cool, and the warmness just died.
Yeah, sometimes lights can look like you're on a operating table, which I don't.
That's what it switched to. Sorry for all the audio.
I don't love that either. It's okay. It's okay. It's a little bit of not controversy. Can't think of that word right now. Anyways, point being, do you think that's ever happened before? I think we kind of debated it one time. Do you think that's ever happened where like they really behind the scenes try to get together and be like, let's give them some serious matchups here. Let's like work the board a little bit.
I would say no, and I think we've even asked a couple people who would maybe know, and I don't even really remember who it was, but when they were like absolutely not. Like when you're in the trenches at a Ryder Cup, you're not like, let me text Luke Donald and see who he's gonna play. It's like, no, dude. They want to dominate. They want to leave no doubt. And I just listen, as much as you would kind of want it to happen, because at the end of the day, it is entertainment. I don't think they're, texting each other behind the scenes being like, let's match up Rory and Scotty for the people. They're just like, I want to win because there's so much legacy attached to winning and losing a Ryder Cup.
They save that type of shenanigans for the President's Cup. They're
That's
like,
right.
That's right. Let's get the hype going for the President's Cup. Let's do some matchups for the television cameras. And that Ryder Cup, they're like, they don't even fucking look at each other. And then when they put those pairings up, it's blood.
Specifically Keegan, too. Like, I don't think it's ever happened, but Keegan would never. He's probably got Luke's number blocked if he has it. Like, he doesn't want to see him, doesn't want to talk to him, doesn't want to do anything until this thing is over.
Dude, we don't even allow that kind of stuff at some of our buddies' trips. It gets so intense where they're like, fuck them, dude. They're trying to set matchups. Go shove it up their ass. Let's go beat them. So, no, Ryder Cup, they're not doing that. Man, I can't wait for this.
Doesn't it feel kind of like we're just sitting around waiting for the Ryder Cup to start? Like the Irish Open, that was cute. Like, I know we'll probably talk a little bit about the Walker Cup, which was very cool, and it was at Cypress, and we got to film out there, which was incredible. But we're just kind of waiting until those balls are in the air in New York.
You know what's fucking crazy is that the Paris Ryder Cup was started the Friday after East Lake finished. You remember that?
Oh, wow.
Tiger Woods won at East Lake. Him and Rory walking up 18, all of that, all those emotions, him saying thanks, Hansy, and the whole deal. Justin Rose standing there with the thing that looks like he won from like the Middle East with like, that, and then like Tiger and all that. And then, dude, Friday morning was the first matches of the Ryder Cup in Paris. How fucking crazy is that?
Yeah, that's a quick turnaround.
But I would prefer that. I don't know how the schedule would, but I like this wait that we've had between just meaningful PGA Tour golf and the Ryder Cup is going to, we've still got 2 weeks. We've still got a while to go here. So I don't know. It's not something you can fix. It's just the way that it feels right now. I'm like,
I
Let's
do
go.
like the build up though. Something about it, like the longer
Yeah.
it goes, the more I'm anticipating it. We've got a lot of hype going into it. We have some exciting stuff that we still haven't even filmed yet that we're itching to get done. So like we want all the time that we can get. I mean, the fact that build out is at Bethpage, the fact that I can drive by there every single day, it's just the coolest thing in the world. Like just Long Island is just buzzing right now. So like we always say like the anticipation of a thing is almost better than the actual
Yeah.
thing. The anticipation of the Ryder Cup coming, people talking about getting tickets and where they're going to go. We got Borelli's on sale. If that's not already sold out, make sure if you're listening to this right now, that went on sale yesterday at noon. So make sure you go get tickets. It's going to come with all food, drinks. We have live music. We're doing a show. We've got a lot of special guests coming through. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's at Borelli's,
Can't
so
wait
we're
for
going to
that.
do a big blowout, inside, outside. We got cornhole going. I'll challenge anyone to a game of cornhole for any amount of money, unless it's like 4 figures. I'm not going 4 figures for a cornhole game, but I'll go
25K,
up to
do
500.
25K match, Frank.
I'll go up to $500 for a cornhole game. Yeah, no, it's going to be unbelievable how much fun that is. So that's why, like, I'm getting the juices flowing. Like, I want this thing to kind of always be in the distance. You know, it's just there's a buzz out here. There's a real buzz.
Yeah, no, I understand that, and I'm a little it's a little removed for me. Like one last week, like we're talking here on Monday, September 8th. This bitch is still like 2.5 weeks out. That's what I can't really grasp. But I remember kind of thinking this during the discussions for Ryder Cup picks, captain's picks, where it was like current form matters a lot, and that's 100% true. But I don't know how much current form matters when like they're gonna have not played for a month, and now obviously this week most guys are playing at the pro course, so that's a huge bonus compared to what they did 2 years ago in Rome. There's a lot of shit. I think it was 5 weeks they went without playing a professional tournament. So it's a little bit less of a concern this time, but still, it's like they're going into Napa. I think Napa, like you bring the wives and like you're doing like wine tour. You know, it's Napa. It's like you're kind of chilling. So I'm a little concerned about that because I'm watching Rory. I know a bunch of the guys on the European side are playing the BMW this week over there. I think it's the one at Wentworth, which is like a sick tournament. It's where Billy Horschel beat Rory in the playoff last year. I think Billy Horschel's making his return, which is awesome, by the way, this week. But they're like playing in these national opens. I'm watching people chant "Ole, ole, ole." Our motherfuckers are going to be in Napa. Like, yeah, it's just not quite the same environment. So I'm a little bit concerned about that with the sharpness and all that. Hopefully, it sounds like Keegan's got him on a little bit different like mindset. I think everybody but like Xander pretty much Xander and Bryson is playing. So I think that's a good thing, but I'm a little concerned that the gap between the end of the season and the Ryder Cup is like just far enough that it's a little bit of a crapshoot. You don't know what you're going to get.
The other thing that the gap does is it allows guys like us to talk about how many issues that could cause. Like we're just basically trying to come up with ideas of what's good and what's bad in regards to going into a Ryder Cup, and we get to just like fire from the hip on like is the break good? Is it not good? Is Napa good? Is Napa bad? Is Wentworth good? Is Wentworth bad? And you just not saying that the guys are listening to this, but I'm sure there's people out there who are just like with loud enough microphones who are just
Some of them do.
Some of them do. And then they get to thinking about like what's going on in the world. Is this gap too big? Now, am I not playing the way that I was 3 weeks ago? So I'm ready for this thing to just happen. But I'm hoping all of the lead up and all of the prep that each team, specifically Team USA, is doing is going to be the right formula that is going to get a victory at the Ryder Cup. That's all I want. That's really all I've been thinking about.
I got to get my ass to Napa. I feel like I've done a lot of stuff in California. It's been beautiful. We've seen Monterey Peninsula. We've done the Pebble Beach, the Cypress Point. We've done that whole entire area. We say it's incredible. Even the drive there, 17-mile drive, you can't believe it. The fact that we get to go there as often as we do is such a blessing. I love going there. We've gone down to San Diego. We've seen that whole area. Unbelievable spot. LA we've been to. Awesome. I get swept up in the whole pageantry of the celebrities and the restaurants and, stargazing. And We've flown into and stayed in San Francisco from time to time, but it's really just like a passing through city for us. It's a connector. It's something that you fly into to go to Pebble. I've never done, because it's north of San Francisco, right? So you fly into San Francisco, you go north. I've never done that. That to me would be really exciting. I like wine. I got swept up when we went to Scotland, getting into all the different scotches. And when I went to Ireland, we were getting into Irish whiskey, and you're going into all the tastings. I would love to learn about more wine and like actually get educated on it. And it's a fun thing. It's a fun thing to learn more about, because we go out to dinner like crazy and we're getting wine lists and you know nothing about it. Riggs is freaking sending it to ChatGPT. It's like, I'd rather
huge
like
cheat code move, dude. Huge cheat code move. I'm telling you.
But like you want to have some sort of knowledge. It makes you feel like a higher power person. Like you start to like tell people certain types of wines, certain types of grapes. And I've heard it, just the topography and just the views are unmatched. I've heard it's unbelievable. Now, Trent, I think you said you've been there, or?
Yeah, when I went to San Francisco to see Dead and Company with Chicks in the Office producer Noah Ives, one of the things on his 30 before 30 list was to go to a wine tasting in Napa. So we knocked out the concert, but the day that we got there, we drove up to Napa, which was like an hour, maybe a little bit more. So it's really not bad. And we did a wine tasting and we went out to lunch, and it's gorgeous. Like it's really fun. The wine tasting, you just sit there and they bring you out different kinds. They're like, this is from this region, this is from that region. And you do learn a lot. And they know, like they tell you things that you can then repeat at a dinner when the wine list comes out, which is really what you're looking for. Like, listen, I want to know about the whole process and how it happens and, you know, this and that.
Little bullet points.
Right. They're like, but here's what you need to say at a dinner that people are going to go, this guy knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Dude, there's
we went to Italy.
One of the go-tos is like, sorry, but just like when somebody could talk about the year and how much precipitation there was that year. So like if they see a 2009, they'll be like, oh yeah, there was a lot of rain that year, so the grapes are really healthy. So anything from 2009 is what's at the top of my list, and then order a bottle of wine from 2009. We need that kind of shit going on.
That's next level. When we were in Italy, we went to Tuscany and we went to Chianti, like the town of Chianti, and we went to a couple of different wineries, and they taught us just the one thing that always stuck with me. If there's a rooster on the actual bottle, now some people will try and get away with this. They'll actually print a rooster in their description on the bottle. You'll see a rooster logo, but it'll be kind of like printed on the actual paper. I'm talking a rooster sticker was put on to the neck of the bottle. That is saying that this was made in Chianti with only Chianti, like pure Chianti grapes, and anything else is a blend where maybe they took it from some from America or some from wherever. This is truly like one of the 10 wineries that you could possibly get it from in that region. It is Chianti Classico. That's how you know that is it. So whenever I see the rooster, it's like an expensive bottle, or I'll see Chianti Classico on the menu at an Italian restaurant by me. We'll get the bottle, we'll see the rooster, or we'll see like the fake rooster. You'll see the rooster just like printed on the bottom. That's not it. We've heard it's got to be a sticker coming from like an old woman that's sitting in the back that stickers the top of the neck. Oh, that to me, that's what I'm talking about. Now I know Chianti Classico. You'll know too. You'll look for the rooster. Next time you go, you're going to see Chianti Classico and you're going to order it now. It's going to be like a $55 bottle of wine and you're going to love it. It's like middle of the road and you're going to love this blend. See, I'm already talking now. It might be a blend.
I'm impressed. I'm sitting over here. I'm like, this guy knows what the fuck he's talking about.
See, this is why I want to go to Napa,
Go to Napa, and it's very much the same thing. Knowing regions, I think, is really important. If the wine list comes out and they say it's from this region, and you can say, oh, that's a great region for wine, I think that gets people going a little bit. But Napa is beautiful, and I wish I could remember the name of the restaurant that we went to, but it was fantastic. Great Italian food, like. Yeah, and it's not a far drive from San Francisco, and it's gorgeous, and you get to go and just try. There's so many wineries in that region. There's like there's just so many. You can go to however many you want. So we got to get up to Napa, spend like a couple days.
You know what people are really good at with information like that, and aside from wine, is oysters. They know the different regions of oysters and what those taste like. Like for us, if you get the Pacific Northwest ones, those Washington State oysters, they're like the big creamy ones. And then the ones from Long Island or like the East Coast, smaller, a little bit more of a kick. You can start. And then when you get the list, like I've gone, basically all of this is my wife's cousin JJ. He knows all of this stuff. And anytime we're out to dinner, he's ordering oysters and he's ordering really good bottles of wine. And I've always been so impressed. He gets the oyster list. We'll go to a real nice seafood restaurant. He gets a list of like 7 different options. And he's picking, we'll get 2 from here. And he's telling us on the plate what to experience while you're eating it. When someone's explaining to you what you're about to experience as you eat it, that is a higher way of thinking.
Also, when you go out to dinner, this is how you know you became the guy. When you go out to dinner and the wine list comes out and everybody goes, give it to that
him.
guy. He knows.
Mm-hmm.
That's like we were at a dinner the other night in Portland, and that happened to it where it was the wine list came out, and the people we were with were like, give it to Keith. Keith knew.
And it also gravitated toward Keith. And that's like, you could just tell when it's the person, right? Like the waiter knows, the server knows, everybody knows that Keith's getting that wine list, and he's discussing amongst it. You guys like a light, or you know what I mean? Like, do you like it? And he's kind of just walking around, just like not looking around, and he's gauging temperatures.
I watched him look Brennan Jones in the eye, and Keith went, "What do you like?" And Brennan just went, "Red." I like red.
Yeah. Okay. It was a steakhouse too.
So okay. Keith took that information in and he put it in his calculation. I don't know how much it helped, but he got Brennan Jones likes a red wine, and he moved on to the next person.
That was perfect. We're like, okay, yeah. Now he's got 9 more options now.
But I am that asshole too. If he had looked at me and said that, I would have said the same thing because I like red. I'm speaking to you in colors now. That's as little as I know about wine. I know the 2 colors that wine comes in, and I'm going to pick one. And you ask me the next one, I could say white. I don't know.
You're responding with like the same arsenal that a 3-year-old has. You're just like,
red.
What would you like? They're like, yellow.
Red.
Okay.
I like red stuff.
No, it was a home run. That was an oyster dinner too, where we had some
those oysters. I'm not sure about. Those were almost a little bit too thick for me. They had real. I don't want to say girth, but they had girth to them.
They had girth, dude.
I like more, and this might be what you're talking about, Frankie. Where on the East Coast they're a little thinner. You can put a lot more on it, like the what do you put on oysters?
Little cocktail sauce.
This is how bad I am at all this stuff. But I didn't like chewing and like feeling the big oyster in my mouth, so that I'm less inclined to order those, and I'm more of an East Coast guy.
Yeah, no, I am a bad oyster eater. Like I'm basically turning it into a spoon for cocktail sauce. Like, the people that just eat them, like and the one we went to the other day didn't have cocktail sauce. When you go to a real nice restaurant, sometimes they'll just give you that vinegar and they'll give you a little bit of lemon. And it's like, you got to just enjoy the oyster as is. I'm like, I want all the cocktail sauce.
Yeah, I want to say John Feidelberg might have said that oysters are a delivery system for other things. Like, it's been a long time, and maybe just when I first started eating them, where I would eat them with nothing on. But then when you start putting cocktail sauce and horseradish, like, then I'm even more inclined. Like, it's just like you're saying, it's a delivery system for things that I definitely like cocktail sauce.
And there's all this weird politics around not chewing them. What's that about? Where it's like you gotta swallow them, and like if you chew them, everyone's looking at, like, people that know how to eat oysters are looking at you like, oh, he's chewing them. He has no idea what he's doing. That was being talked about at that table in Portland a little bit.
Oh,
people
really?
chewing oysters.
What was Keith's opinion?
Oh, he'll swallow them whole. Like, there's something. You just swallow them, dude. I do 2 or 3 chews at least. I need that sensation. That's why I like oysters, is getting that sensation of the chew, dude. Why are you not allowed to chew them? That's how you get the taste. Let me read this.
I'm more of a slurper, I guess. Slurp, swallower.
Clip it. Keep clipping.
It's common misconception that they should be swallowed whole. Chewing helps to experience the oyster's full flavor and texture profile, and incorporating a few light chews before swallowing is the best way to savor them, similar to how you would eat a grape. Come on now!
It is a little crazy to be like, that thing that we just ordered that is not cheap, just put it down as fast as you can. That is something that you don't enjoy. Like, if I'm eating something that I don't enjoy, I want to get it down the gullet as fast as I can. If you just want to enjoy something, you chew it. That'd be like swallowing a piece of gum immediately. It's like, what are you doing?
I don't know that I swallow really anything aside from like a pill. Like, I chew everything that I put in my mouth.
Yeah,
I'll chew a smoothie.
A smoothie. I don't chew a smoothie.
Like, if I get a nice thick peanut butter smoothie or like a strawberry and banana smoothie, I'm going to chew a little bit when it goes in.
Oh,
just
you
a little
are
bit.
chewing a smoothie.
Just a little bit of chew. Like, the ice, or like, just like, you got some seeds in there. I like to chew. I'm not going straight down the gullet. It's almost too refreshing. That idea of it just going right through makes my throat feel a little cold. I'll chew this water right now.
You might have just flipped me to the other side. If I watched you chew a smoothie, I'd be like, we got to like get this guy institutionalized.
But here, I'm not chewing it like this. If you're not seeing me do it, I'm just pressing my teeth together with a drink. You know
I
what
would
mean?
even say keeping it, not even chewing something like a smoothie. You maybe keep it up top for a little bit longer, and then you let it
everything
go.
in my mouth and then swallow. Everything is in my mouth for at least a second. Pause, and then it goes in. I'm letting it simmer for a second. People that go straight down the gullet that are like professional chuggers, I can't conceptualize that.
No,
my
I can't
brain
either.
doesn't do it.
They open it up.
It's sitting in the back molars for just like a second as the other stuff goes down. I have a reservoir in my mouth that just kind of holds the liquid, holds the food, and I slowly go.
This might be the opinions that are keeping us out of a higher society. The three of us.
Potentially.
Well, these are those things that you said. Like if someone had a camera on you in your house, like things that you just feel are normal that you just do for the rest of your life and you've been doing your whole entire life, you might be like, that's how people do it. People obviously chew their smoothies. And now I'm saying it on a podcast and it's like, no one's ever done that in the history of the world. And I'm going to be on like Joe Rogan for being like an alien.
The debate of do you chew smoothies could be something, you know? That might get some
I
people
chew
going.
everything, dude. I throw a little chew. And I think, the word chew, I feel like is very aggressive, but it's really just, I'm a grinder of my teeth too. I'm always doing that. I'm always doing drum beats with the back of my teeth and my tongue. I'm constantly going up and down.
There's so much to unpack with that I don't think we have
Dude,
time.
I'll
I
do a drum
lot
beat
of that
with my
hands.
mouth. The back molars are like the kick drum, and the front two teeth are like the snare drum, or like the accents.
Yeah,
in my mind, I'm just doing boom, boom, bop.
Most people aren't.
bop,
I've
bop.
never done that once, but I'm not a drummer. I'm not
Try it,
musically inclined. So
There's nothing like a crisp fall night at the ballpark, but trying to get there can be brutal. You're stuck in a queue. Prices jump right at checkout. You're logged out mid-click. All you want to do is be in the stands, beer in hand, yelling with the crowd. The Game Time app gives you the advantage right back to you, the fan, and the fans. It's the hack for unlocking amazing tickets and experiences in a few taps. It's incredibly easy to use, and the Game Time guarantee means you can trust you'll get 100% authentic MLB tickets on time and at the best price. We love going to events. We love going to games, comedy shows, all kinds of good stuff, all brought to you by Game Time.
yeah, we're in the final stretch here with baseball, but football fully kicked off. We got college, we got NFL. Go on Game Time, find a ticket, go to these games. They're so much fun. But yeah, baseball, we're down the stretch here into some important games. So divisions are on the line, and before we know it, the playoffs are going to be here. For all of these things, sports, theater, comedy, go on Game Time, get the tickets. As the start time approaches, the tickets go down. It's just a great app. Go on there and find an event near you.
Also, any city you're in, you go on there, you're not going to believe how many different events you have. New York, it's psychotic right now.
Oh.
Bills at Jets, Tigers at Yankees, Rangers at Mets, Chiefs at Giants, Miami CF versus NYCFC for soccer. You've got Nate Bargatze coming to Madison Square Garden. You got UFC going to Madison Square Garden. It's like this is all within the next couple of weeks. Unbelievable amount of stuff to go to. You got to go experience it. That's what makes the world go around. Is like you work, you acquire dollars, and then you like spend them on experiences and memories. That's like what living on Earth is, and like this happens to be the stuff that we have. Like this is, as humans, we figured out like, hey, we like to watch these people throw balls around, talking to microphones and all that stuff, and we like to spend money on those. Luckily for you, Game Time, you can spend the least amount of money up until the time that it's about to start. So go on that app, make sure you get it. I'm telling you right now, you will not regret going and living your life. Have experiences.
Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. You just download the Game Time app. You create an account. Use our code, which is Fore, F-O-R-E, for $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Redeem code F-O-R-E for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today. Look, I'm obsessed with the DraftKings Sportsbook. I'm obsessed with it right now. I had a fantastic week. Maybe the first weekend college football wasn't amazing. Started riding my brother's tips a little bit. He's on a heater right now. He's 4-0 on his last 4. And then they've got the new Ghost Leg Parlay, which is one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Yeah,
which
incredible.
You make sure you opt in on DraftKings. You go to like the like rewards area. You opt in. You'll see it on there. Ghost Leg Parlay. Opt in. then it takes you right to the NFL slate of games whenever, you've got a NFL Sunday coming up, and you pick you fire up a nice parlay. I did a 4-team parlay yesterday. If one of the legs of the parlay misses and you've opted into the ghost leg parlay, they still pay you out for all the other legs that did hit. So it's incredible. I had a great weekend. Like I said, I did this 4-team parlay for the NFL Sunday ghost leg. Didn't even need the ghost leg. I just went 4 for 4. It was unbelievable. And it's all brought to you by DraftKings.
Yeah, it's a great new feature. I've seen a lot of people buzzing about it. You build out those 4-team, 5-team parlays. You go 4 for 5. It's a tale as old as time. Now they're saying, hey, if it was plus 5,000, we're knocking it down to what the odds would be on the 4. Now it's plus 1,800. We're going to pay out on that. Go on your merry way. You did a good job today, even though you didn't get 5 for 5. That's amazing, and that's I'm only seeing that on DraftKings. So it's worth downloading the app, getting involved, making sure that you're on DraftKings, because that is such a fun way to spend a Sunday. Getting going on all these different types of parlays. It doesn't have to be winners or losers. It can be anytime touchdowns. It can be yards. It can be the whole entire deal. You can mix and match all your different types of bets for the parlays. So I did that yesterday. So much fun.
It's great. It's great. DraftKings nails it. And also new customers. New customers bet $5, and if your bet wins, you'll score $200 in bonus bets instantly. Golf this weekend. There's some PGA Tour action. There's some European DP World Tour action. So live bets, prop plays, odds boost, plenty more going on. If you're new to betting golf, it's simpler than reading a green. You just pick something simple. Pick a golfer to win it all. Lock in your pick, and you are off and running. So take your swing at winning some dough this week. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the code FORE. That is code FORE, F-O-R-E, for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
While we're kind of going on a tangent before we get into the Walker Cup, I gotta get this off my chest. So I went to a wedding this weekend, all the way upstate. Shout out to Tommy and Nicole. Beautiful wedding. Way upstate. Driving up there. We've been traveling like crazy, and I'm like, where's this wedding? It's like 3 hours and 15 minutes from Long Island. Ooh. Driving up there. At some point, I'm looking at Hannah being like, you're telling me there's not one place that they found to get married between. They live right next to us, Long Island here. So we're driving up there, and when I got up there, I'm like, I get it. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful outdoor wedding. We walked. We were like the last people there, and we saw the wedding party getting ready to walk out, and it's this unbelievably beautiful scenery. I'm talking, like, bro, it looked like Table Rock Mountain or whatever, or Table Rock Lake, where there was this river cutting through these little mounds that are going into the river, and they're perched up on top of this hill looking down on it. Beautiful weather. The rain was before and after it. It was unbelievable. And we're walking down this hill, and we see everyone getting ready, and the wedding attendant Hannah and I are walking down a hill, and she goes like this. So we start running, and she goes, "Don't run." And we're like, okay.
Are we at the
so
pool?
Should we continue at the pace that we just like? And Hannah's like, "Don't get in a
Augusta
fight." I'm like,
National?
"Well, I literally said out loud, I'm like, should we continue at the pace that we were just walking?" I mean, now everyone's looking at us, and I'm hot.
Speed walk.
So then we get down, we sit down. Beautiful ceremony, unbelievably beautiful. It was like, yeah, it was. I was legitimately tearing up by the beauty of it. So they knocked it out of the park. My stomach growled at one point, and people thought that I had farted. That's how loud it. I have an audible stomach, so like. People can hear when my stomach growls, and it was dead silent. And at one point, it just went, and I looked around. And I said, "That was my stomach." And now I'm turning red. My glasses were fogging up. It was horrible. That part on my part, I ruined that little area for the wedding. Anyway, we go back. We have the reception. Really great theme to it, like just like the outdoor theme, and it was like family style food, which I'd never done at a wedding before. This is how weddings should be. They put plates of salmon, steak, chicken, peppers with cheese, everything, all in, like beautiful Caesar salad, and you just got to have as much as you want of what you wanted. It was family style, unlimited food on every single table. Beautifully done. Beautiful. Like, that changed weddings for me forever. So shout out to Tommy and Nicole. You knocked it out of the park. Great scenery. Had a ton of fun. This is where it got a little hairy. We're having cigars outside. We're looking over this beautiful hill, like I was saying. All these having cigars, and someone says, the guy Alex goes, "Do you want to have a cigar?" I said, "Yeah, no problem. Let's go have a cigar." We cut it. beautiful cigars. The types of cigars that are they're closed on both sides. You got to snip both sides. Never really came across something like that. That's how you knew it was real hand rolled, right? So I had to snip both sides, and I get this lighter in my hand, and I'm like, I've never really seen anything like this. And I'm not a big smoker. I just smoked my first dart with Charlie Hall a couple months ago. I do smoke cigars, but the lighting is always an issue. I'm a very, very weak and inexperienced lighter of flames, okay? And I've always been very exposed. If some cool guy throws me one of his lighters, he kind of just goes like this and hands me a lighter, and I'm like holding his like little lime green lighter from 7-Eleven. I'm freaking out because I'm flicking that thing and nothing's coming out. They're like, you gotta crown it, you gotta put the little thing around, and I'm freaking out. So I get this lighter, and apparently it takes like 2 hands. Like, it's an old school lighter, and I'm flicking at it, nothing's happening, and I'm looking around, and everyone has a lit cigar. So I'm like,
we already did it.
Got it, right? I'm like, I'm shaking it. I'm like, I don't think it's got any fluid, right? Some guy gets it. He flicks it, right?
So takes manly thumbs to flick.
No, but dude, this thing was like real crazy. So
sure.
Me and Alex are like, we're both struggling with it. So we put it down and we go over to one of the candles that's underneath the tent, like next to no, this isn't a nightmare. But so and I end up,
I was like, was this on the news? Did this make the news?
I end up lighting this thing up with a candle, like at my table, and then it was an open air, dance floor reception. I basically just I toked it a little bit, and then I brought it back outside from outside. So now I'm lit, and I see the father of the groom, who looks like Billy Joel, just to set the scene. Billy Joel, he looks just like Billy Joel. I'm like, holy shit, that's Billy Joel at one point. And I went up to him like, you gotta be kidding me, man. So he walks up to this cigar area, and I see him messing around with this lighter. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make some small talk. I'm in a mood. I had a couple drinks in me, a couple pops, a couple bourbons.
A little chatty.
I walk over to him. I go, dude, you gotta do the candle. The lighter sucks, right? And he goes, this is actually my brother-in-law's favorite lighter. This is like a little memorial for him. He goes, I wouldn't put it past him to give me a hard one or whatever. And I'm like, it's hard to laugh, but I missed
you said this wasn't a nightmare.
I missed the whole thing. There was like a paper there, a photo, and like you took the cigar and light it. And I went up to him. I said, the lighter sucks, dude. And I'm like, and I said at one point, I'm like, we're all having trouble with it, right? So I'm like, dude, nightmare. It is a nightmare. So I'm like turning purple, dude. When he told me.
You're turning purple now. You're reliving it.
Purple. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you just got to finagle with it. And then he lit it right in front of me. He's like, you see? I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that's how you do it. So I just wanted to apologize to anyone that's listening. Mm-hmm. I had no idea. And to be honest, he even admitted, he goes, yeah. And he looked up and he's like, you would have given us a hard one. And it's like, it was a joke. We were kind of laughing around, and we finally got it lit.
He gave you an exit ramp there. He
gave me an exit ramp. Listen, foot went fully in my mouth, right? And I was trying to be nice. I'm like helping the father of the groom. I'm like, dude, you got to go over here. This is a way better way to do it. So I had to get that off my chest. It's one of the worst things I've ever really done in my whole entire life to somebody. So it was
a special lighter, and you were just like, this thing
never really
sucks.
Came across a special lighter, and I didn't know. I just wasn't paying attention. You got to pay attention when you're at weddings. You gotta know. You gotta be aware of your surroundings.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on, man. There really is. So. That's my story. Shout out to Tommy and Nicole. Damn. Beautiful wedding. I had a time in my life. I just I wish I didn't do that lighter thing.
You farted during the ceremony and you just shit all over a special lighter.
God,
good performance by you.
And in a wedding that you're just trying to be one of the guys. You're just trying to blend in.
Oh, when you're at a wedding, especially when you're not in the party, you're not the best man. You're a guest. You are just there to take in a beautiful ceremony between two people who are madly in love, that are connecting for the rest of their lives. It's a beautiful thing, and that you just want to be wallpaper in that moment. You don't want to stand out anyway, and you did it twice, which is just, that's how your life kind of is sometimes.
Two things that people will definitely talked about later on that night and the next day. Like, oh, did you hear that noise during the ceremony? And then Oh, the lighter thing was crazy. Like, I didn't want to be a part of any of that.
There's always that next day, more like a very it's just all family at the brunch. Nobody's invited except the family, but you came up twice during that thing.
Oh, it's like at my wedding, JJ got brought. His nipples were out within a second on the dance floor. We ripped his shirt off. Could you believe JJ's nipples were out at our wedding? It's crazy.
Yours was just a wedding that I attended where I was like, I don't want to be a story on a podcast. I don't want, because Dave, I sat next to Dave your way. Like, I just didn't want to be. I tried my best to not be anything that was of note the next day, and I think we accomplished it. But yours was particularly hard because I literally sat next to Dave at dinner, and I was like, I'm going to do something.
He hated the table numbers, hated them. Every time I've seen a table number since then, I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
His tweet about your table numbers, like we were all, I'm going to get it wrong, but he's basically, we were all lost at sea. We came into the dining room and we didn't know where to sit because the table numbers were see-through. The candles weren't behind him, so you couldn't see him. He did not like that.
No, hated it.
It is a good approach at a wedding. Is just whatever you do, don't be talked about the next day at brunch when people are recapping the wedding.
Well, it's usually a drunk thing too, right? That's normally where somebody just gets a little bit too drunk and takes their shirt off at a wedding where people aren't taking their shirts off, and they're like, holy shit, Timmy just kind of went over the top, and we're going to be talking about him forever. Oh, here it is.
Oh, God, you really got it. Yep.
Ryan Richardson, you are the man.
You actually can't even see it. You can't see the table number right now. It's there. It's on the table, dude. I want to bring Hannah in here and have her explain to me what she was thinking. It doesn't even have the number.
Zoom out.
Written.
Zoom out, and Frankie, I want you to read the tweet. Will you please read
Dude,
it?
I was going to write a blog called Top 5 Things the Borelli Wedding Got Wrong, but it was a great wedding, so I'm not going to do that. However, in all caps, I must talk about the numbers they had on the table to figure out what table to sit at. Absolutely preposterous. A couple good men are still out at sea searching for a table. Just impossible to read. This was our table 8 marker. I didn't want to talk about it, but it must be talked about. Dude, it's insane.
A couple good men are still out at sea searching for our table. It's like, that is as good as it gets.
You can't believe it. Who is that with the beard right there? Who is that with the mustache?
Will you blow the picture up a little bit? Oh, is that Rudy? That? I believe Rudy wore.
Oh, that's Rudy.
What do you call those? A bolo tie?
Mm-hmm. That's Rudy.
Dude,
yeah, I had Tommy. I was at that table. I had Tommy Smokes to my right and Dave Portnoy to my left. So I was just like trying to figure out,
so you
how to
see
get
what
out of that
people
situation
do
without being on a podcast.
So last night, what got the conversations going about the table numbers at the or 2 nights ago at the wedding was they had similar table numbers to that, but they had someone painted flowers and like green, like, greenery on the back end of it. So like they put a backdrop onto them.
It's
almost like it needs something.
Yep.
It needs a contrast behind it.
But dude, when you're ordering them on like Amazon or something, right? Like, cause they're just table numbers. So like you go through and they'll always put them on like a wood background or like something. And she just ordered them. Dude, weddings are so meticulously thought about, and we didn't think about the table numbers. When I say we, I mean her.
You're thrown under the bus, which it is.
Oh, dude, I had to. I mean, that's the worst thing that at my wedding, the only thing I cared about was Dave not tweeting anything that he hated, and he literally got lost going to his table.
He did say
it was a great wedding. I will say it was outside of that, it was a great wedding.
Yeah, it was my first. What is it, like a Long Island style wedding where you guys do the whole feast beforehand for an hour and a half?
Eat as much as you
hour?
possibly can. Yeah.
Oh my God, that was awesome. There's pasta. There was like a taco. I mean, there was just so many different options for you to eat fantastic food.
Everyone's farting.
I'd never heard that
at the end.
And then didn't you bring in Borelli's pizza at the end?
Yep, had pizzas at the end. Yep, it was fun. That was a fun time, but no, we got it wrong. We just got the table numbers wrong.
It's okay.
It is.
All right, a couple more things I want to talk about. We mentioned Rory's victory. A couple more things on Rory. First of all, this is his first tournament playing the brand new MG5 wedges from Taylormade. And this week on our opposite, our Foreplay Plus kind of channel on YouTube, we have a video of us getting fit for the brand new MG5 wedges, which are awesome. And I know if you're like us, I know how your brain works. Unfortunately, because we have experience with this as well. And you hear all this for 20, 30 years now. You've heard all this terminology about bounce. The bounce this, bounce that with the wedge. You open it up, use the bounce. Talk about it on the green side bunker. They talk about it on a green side little like nippy wedge shot. You open it up, use that bounce, and you kind of get it, but you also know that mostly you don't. You don't really get it. You kind of get that like somebody designed something called bounce, and it helps your ball get up into the air or your club get through the ground or something. In this video, our boy. Is it P-Backs? That's his name, right? I believe his name is good old P-Backs, as Barbuti calls him. And he's like a wedge fitter. He's been at TaylorMade forever. He's an awesome guy. And he, on the range with us for like an hour or two, went through a very detailed wedge fitting for the new MG5 wedges from TaylorMade. And it was fascinating, man. It was fascinating listening to him describe what the different bounce, what the different style of wedges do, because I use 3 wedges. I use a 60, a 54, and basically a pitching wedge, but I use like the MG5 version of it. It's like a 46-degree wedge. And like you can have a 60, but you can have one that's got 9 degrees of bounce or 10 degrees of bounce, and then they've got the SC, and they've got these different ones, and he actually explains to you why they have different ones and exactly what happens, and then takes us through, hit 6 shots that at this 75-yard flag, and then look at the difference in the divots, look at the difference in the ball flight, look at the difference in the forgivability. Now hit this flop shot. And we went through that for like an hour or two and put all that into a video. But Rory, first tournament with the MG5 wedges, wins the Irish Open. And I just had to shout that out because so much goes into unveiling an entire new line of wedges. And it sounds to me, gentlemen, like they're 1 for 1 and they nailed it with the new MG5s.
Yeah, there was so much that went into, wedges and bounce and all of that stuff, lie angles. There's things that you're not thinking about that really affect the way that the spin comes off and the way that a ball will check and hold and all these different things. And depending on the type of swing that you have and how steep you come in or how shallow you come in, these are all built for you. So make sure that you go in, you check out the website. They have all different types of grinds and lies and all the different degrees and stuff. It is very, very detailed. I think a lot of people just grab wedges off the rack and they're like, these are the ones. I don't have to hit them very far. They're only going 15 yards. They're little chips. They're only going 30 yards. There's not that much technology built into them. You couldn't be further from the truth. The most technology is built into these wedges. The way that they come onto the ground. But yeah, no, there's just so much to them. There's so much to the grinds. The way, dude, even like the grinds, if you really zoom in on them, and they'll usually show those in like the graphics that they have, like some of them will be like slanted, some of them will be straight up, they'll be like laser etched, they'll be forged. It's crazy how much those little differences make a difference. And to be honest, like you should care about these types of things if you are passionate about the game of golf. These are things that you should really do the research on and make sure that you're making the right purchase and make sure that you're getting the right grind, the right bounce and the right degrees, and that your gapping is right. Like these are all things that just make golf better and more fun and make you better at the game of golf. Like this is when people just overlook this stuff and they just think about the swing and they just think about hitting the ball, you're putting yourself at such a disservice to your game. This
is legitimately the single most important golf club in my bag is my 60-degree wedge. Like, it absolutely is. And I think most weekend golfers, like, you miss a staggering percentage of greens in regulation. So you are chipping. And so that club, you need to know that club inside and out. Like, I was just sitting here thinking about it off the top of my head. It's like, there's 3 clubs in your bag that are the most important clubs in your bag. Your driver, or whatever you use off the tee. Your wedge, or whatever go-to wedge. It might be a 54, 56, 58, 60. Your go-to wedge around the greens. And then your putter. And, like, those 3 clubs account for like 80% of the shots that you hit. Like if you go out there and you shoot an 83, right? Like out of your 83 shots, I don't know, like 50 of them are hit by those 3 clubs. Like whatever it is, you're only in any given round, you're only hitting a 7-iron twice maybe. You're only hitting a 4-iron once, like whatever it might be. You're hitting those 3 clubs all the time, and so man, you gotta kind of realize that. It's not just some complex formula and then you tweak your motion to fit that club. It's like, no. They go through all the research and development and all of the experimentation and all of the thought and all of the like data that goes into it, they then sculpt these wedges and the different styles of them so that it just gets the ball up into the air with the right spin and at the right trajectory that you want it to. And it was amazing watching him take us through that with the wedges and him talking about basically like a more bounce is just like debris clearing, technology or design is essentially what it's just going to clear debris out of the way. And that's going to allow the wedge then to like make clean contact with the golf ball. And so going through all of that was very fascinating, how much of a difference it made. And like it sounds ridiculous, but like I left with 2 different 60-degree wedges. And he was like, yeah, when you're playing in Arizona where it's like overseed, the grass is perfect, the ball almost sits up like a tee on a tee when you're chipping, that like I have a club with a little bit like less bounce because you can hit it so cleanly, so much easier. You don't have to clear debris out of the way. And he's like, when you go to like Pinehurst or Florida, where there's that tangly Bermuda type grass, he's like, I need you having this other one where you're going to need a little bit of help getting that other stuff out of the way so that you can crisply hit the ball more consistently. So like, as bad as I am at the golf, when I show up, it's like, oh, I'm in this region, I have a different 60-degree wedge. And that's hilarious. But that speaks to the fact that like, no matter what your skill level out there, you might think it doesn't matter. It fucking matters. And so anyways, I just found that very interesting. And then of course, Rory with his MG5s gets the W last week. So
yeah, I was actually trying to do the math just now as you've been talking. I think you could shoot like a 78 if you just did standard numbers. You could shoot 78 and use your driver, putter, and wedge 60 times. Because I'm figuring the math. You're doing 36 putts, right? So like that's 2 putts a hole.
Okay.
You
want me to get a calculator out?
14 drives, that's 50. And now I figured 10 wedge shots will then get you like, I was thinking like 10 over because like you missed the green 10 times. So you have to like chip on and then 2 putt. But 4 of those could be par 5s that you're using your wedge and you're still getting on and 2 putting. So technically you could get down to only 6 of those 10 wedge shots were used on bogey holes. So that would be like a 78 on a standard golf course. You can have a 7. I think I did that math pretty good. 78.
That's pretty much my game.
You could have 60,
that is your game.
60 shots pretty easily. At a 78 would be a driver, a wedge, and a putter.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, that's pretty much like yesterday, no joke. I was 5 over through 12 holes and I had hit 2 greens in regulation. And it's like, if you really think about that,
right?
I'm hitting a driver. I'm hitting an iron on, let's say, half the holes because like half of them are a par 5, you're hitting a wood out there, or a wedge in because you hit a good drive, or it's a par 3. So it's like, even out of those 12 holes, right? Like, let's say 6 irons that you're hitting in there, 6 or 8 irons, and like driver, chipping of a wedge, and like putt on every other shot. So out of that's 2/3 of the round is 12 holes. That's like, yeah, you're getting up near 50 or 60 of my shots out of a 82, let's call it, are going to be with those 3 clubs.
That's why they do drive, chip, and putt for children, like to teach them the game. It's literally the game.
Yeah, and it's like, when you talk to Alistair, I played a bunch with Alistair over the last week, and it's like a lot of the setups on the Corn Ferry Tour for them and stuff, he hits driver or mini driver and then some version of a wedge into like every hole. It's like, it's like he never, unless it's a par 5, he like never hits driver and then has a 5 iron into a hole. Like that hole would have to be 600 yards long, which is what a par 5 is. It's just like, doesn't happen. So yeah, point is those clubs are very important. Let's move on real quick to the Walker Cup. Couple, I was very pumped to see Bryson showed up, was at the Walker Cup. He said Cypress is his favorite golf course in the world. He was there kind of hyping the United States team up. Big shout out to the biggest, villain in amateur golf history, which is our boy Stu Hagestad, who's now 34 years old, finance executive. I saw that they had him listed at. He's played in like fucking 10 or 15 majors. He finished low amateur at the Masters before, and he's now played on, I believe, 5 Walker Cup teams, won all of them. He hit the winning point, of course. He made the putt to secure the winning point yesterday.
Insane.
And just and I love Stu. I text with Stu quite a bit. I play with him. He's the nicest guy. He's locked in. He takes all this seriously. But But I got to give him credit. Like, if you were a European amateur golfer and you were like the biggest, either on the team or the biggest fan of the European, Great Britain and Ireland, GB&I, Walker Cup team, there's no one on earth that I think you would hate more than Stu Hagestad. He is just, dude, he's out there. He's got the broomstick putter. He's been doing it for like 15 years, dusting these folks. You know, I know he's got a nice setup with the backstory. And I don't know what it is, but he has to have some version of family, money, and connections. He just has to. He just looks like it. He talks like it. He plays like it. And then he just goes out there and plays fantastic golf. It's one of my favorite storylines going. And he delivered yet again and was just dusting these kids from GB. And
dude,
you
stick around long enough, which he just might, because I don't know what the limits are. Like, is there an age limit? I don't think that there is. There's going to be a kid that comes up and he's going to be like, you beat my dad in the 25 Walker Cup. And he's like, you're damn right. Stu Hagestad is the nightmare of the GBI Walker Cup teams. 100%. It's such an interesting position for him to be in. And I understand, I'm sure there's some criticism that comes his way, but it's like, bro, if you can do it, he's like, I'm just going to keep doing it. He's like, I'm just going to keep winning Walker Cups. You guys all right with that? And as an American, I'm fine with it.
No one has, his situation, whatever it may be, obviously very, very financially stable enough to like just not pursue a pro career in the game of golf. He is such a unique case that he probably could be a professional golfer if he just dedicated the time and effort into doing it. He says that it's not financially feasible for him to do that. He does way better just not doing that. And then he's good enough to win all the events that he plays in fucking the amateur circuit. This guy's been dominating the amateur circuit for like a decade now. That's a fact. How old is he? He's got to be. Is he like 35? He's
34.
34 years old. And
been doing this since he was 18.
He was asked directly this week again, and his answer is great. He said, in 2017, he said he was playing as good a golf as he could possibly play. And he went out and finished 37th at the Masters. I think he finished like 20 shots behind Sergio Garcia. And he was like, I cannot make it playing professional golf. Like, I simply cannot play better than that.
But you don't have to win every tournament to have a career in golf. Like,
no, but dude, the $80,000 you can make from like 57th or whatever, it's pennies to him.
Yeah, no, I understand that he's clearly in a situation where he's like, what I'm doing now is just, it makes more sense for me. But you can make a professional golf career out of finishing 37th every single tournament. 100%.
Agreed. There's like this villainous kick to him that he has of like, he doesn't, clearly need the money. I do think like, he's got a gig in the finance and whatever the hell that is. Finance industry is one just big blurry spot for me. And then he's like, I'm just going to go to these big amateur tournaments and wipe the floor with these fucking little pussy kids, I think is what he thinks.
I think if he were on the other side of it, where if he were on the GBI team, I think he would be on this podcast the biggest villain in golf that we would just talk about constantly on this show. Like if he just kept showing up and he was from Ireland and it was like, here comes fucking Stu O'Connell from Ireland who's just going to win this Walker Cup again. I really think, we would talk so much shit about him, but he's an American. So it's like, and he wins all these Walker Cups. So we're like, yeah, keep doing it.
I agree. It's great. It's one of my favorite things going, but the Walker Cup was awesome. Good. Congrats to the US. By the way, the USGA and the Walker Cup, which I think is just the same people, social teams did a phenomenal job over the last week at Cypress Point. I couldn't believe how good of a job. It's almost like, to a degree, they took a page out of the Dave Portnoy plan with the social media around Barstool Beach House. And, dude, they were putting out, like, entire 3-hole sections of matches in real time of like what happened in the matches. So if you weren't watching on Peacock or NBC or Golf Channel, wherever it was on at the time, you could just scroll through your Instagram and they would post like 15, 16, and 17th holes in the match of like Mason Howell and Koiven against, these two Euros. And you could just watch every shot of the match in like 60 seconds. And I thought that was awesome. Dude, they had such good weather. The weather was phenomenal. They had a little bit of fog, but like other than that, it was clear blue skies and like beautiful out. The drone footage, all the cool shots. They're posted a bunch of just artsy, peaceful shots with no like music behind it, of where they would just set the camera like behind a tree limb facing towards the Pacific Ocean where a walking path was, and you would just peacefully watch over 10 seconds, like all the people in the group walk through the camera shot. All that stuff. They absolutely nailed it. So a huge shout out to our friends USGA, Walker Cup social team. I thought they just blew it out of the or knocked it out of the park.
They started doing that with the USAM too. I remember I watched 3 holes of John Daly's son play in his match, and I was like, this is, with tracers and everything, like, this is incredible. Like, give it to me. And then it is true, like, about the beach house thing, where, I mean, there's so many people on social media now, and everybody's out. It's, you know, it's football week, and there's a lot going on, but everybody's always on their phone, and everyone's always checking Instagram or Twitter or TikTok or whatever. So you have access to those people who aren't necessarily going to be near a television. And yeah, when it would happen to me, when I would see, like, oh, I'm going to watch these 2 or 3 holes of John Daly playing his USAM match, and you just watch it, and you're like, all right, now I know what's going on there. It's really, that I think is the future of, I mean, I don't know how you quantify it, and that's the big question with all that stuff, where, you know, when you sit down in front of a TV, they mark your number down, and they're like, all right, that person is watching our product. But when you just have little, not even little, but you have 3 whole videos where people are watching them on their phone, that's almost more valuable, because it's smarter, because, like I'm saying, everyone has their phone all the time. Not everyone is going to sit down in front of a TV and watch full events. So it's a very cool thing that they did, and I think they should continue to do it.
Yeah. It lets you catch up whenever you want to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which is huge.
It's a really good idea.
Couple more things. I do want to say Rory had a comment. He sent a motivational video to the GB&I Walker Cup team. I guess it was like a minute long. I don't think anybody saw it that was in the media, but some of the players were talking about it. They said that, you know, Rory put in this thing, like, you know, all this, whatever, motivational things. And then he kind of finished it with, please beat them, because I know we're going to beat them at Bethpage, is what Rory said.
All right. So we got to get our hands on that, and we got to send that to Team USA.
Yeah, I know. A little bit of, I agree.
He's like, well, we're just the Ryder Cup is, we already won it. He's like, we already did it. I haven't even gone there yet. I haven't flown an hour and 20 minutes to Bethpage yet, but we have won the Ryder Cup in 2025. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. It was a bold thing that I saw come out. I don't know if that video will get out.
Also, if I'm Rory, kind of like I talked about earlier, I would feel that way too. The way that his year has gone, he's having a blessed year. And I just, you know, it's a scary thing for them if you're Team USA, when you just got Rory, who's just, I mean, people were putting up pictures yesterday of just the trophies this year and how much success he's had. It's
sorry, I'm calling
scary. Who you calling?
I'm calling Stu Hagestad real quick. Hey, Stu.
What's up?
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
I got
You're
a quick question for you. Do you feel like a villain in the amateur golf circuit?
If you look at the internet would say yes, but no.
Do you think you're at least a villain to like the GB&I team? Because we were just saying, if you were on the other team, I think Trent gave you the name Stu O'Connell. If you were like Stu O'Connell from the GB&I team, he's like, we would despise you, which I think is a compliment.
I mean, luckily I'm not. You know, luckily.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm sure you're right. I certainly would hate me if I was on the other side, I guess. I don't know. Maybe don't put that in writing, but yeah, I get what you're trying to say. Like, they've got, so like Stuart Green was on their team, and like Stuart's like the nicest guy ever. We've known each other for a long time, and like he's a baller. Like I think he played on the DP World Tour for a little bit, right? Like they've got good mid-ams over there too. So
okay. See, I didn't know all that. That's a good point.
So,
that's a fair point.
Like Matt McLean was on the team 2 years ago. Like Matt won the mid-am, right? Like Colin Rafferty was on the team in 19. I don't think there was one in 21, but like, yeah, they have mid-ams too.
How do you have do you have an age limit on how long you will go continuing to beat a lot of these like 20-year-old kids that are from GB&I?
So listen, man, like, am I on the pod right now?
Oh yeah.
Oh, great. So here's the deal. I know what I love to do outside of like work and my personal life, and I love to compete, right? So, I don't know. Like I'm gonna do the best I can to like try and peak for events that I do play in, and at some point, probably sooner rather than later, life's gonna get in the way, and I'll probably have to like reassess or at least change priorities, whether it's like marriage, kids. Obviously, like you give up a ton of stuff like professionally to go and play in some of this stuff, and there's definitely a few people at work that are super supportive, but like, yeah, man, like I love to compete. I love to play. It was an honor to be a part of the team, be a part of the event. I'm fired up. I'm kind of riding the high right now.
Hell yeah.
I love it. This group right here supports you big time, and we are huge fans of what you've been doing out there.
Well, that's because you guys are my guys.
Big time.
Yeah. We need you. We need you in the stew corner.
I think that you make the event that much more interesting, that I think like people that wouldn't be plugged in would be like, you're telling me there's this 35-year-old finance guy that like for 5 years in a row has just been destroying the Europeans in this event? Like, that's awesome.
I mean, dude, like, have you been to one of these? Have you been to a Walker Cup?
No, I have not.
You guys should move that up your priority list. It's really, really cool. It's an amazing event. They do a great job. Like, obviously the venues are incredible, but like, I mean, you get to walk with the players, you get to go, spend time around people that like really, truly love the game, right? Like, obviously the Ryder Cup at Bethpage will be amazing for so many different ways, but like, they're fundamentally just like a little bit different. I think the Walker Cup is probably flies under the radar a little bit more, and you guys should move that up your priority list for sure. It's really cool.
Yeah, I remember the story that like Colt always talks about, like DJ basically being so nervous on the first tee when he played in the Walker Cup that he hit before they even announced his name.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a story of like, and maybe this is just my opinion, but like, I think that's a total example of like where the fish just gets bigger and bigger. Like, you talk to like some of these old, kind of old guard Walker Cup guys, and they talk about how they were, so nervous on the first tee. Like, I've always told the younger guys, I'm like, listen, like, you've played in big events before. You've played NCAAs. You've played match play events where it matters for your team. Like, some of you have played in majors. Like, this is just the next step. Like, go own it. Go have fun. Like, you'll be great.
I love it. Well, look, we're huge fans of you continuing to do this for a very long time. I think Trent earlier said that like at some point we hope that there's a GB and I player that comes up and is like, oh, you actually beat my dad like 20 years ago in one of these matches. so just keep doing what you're doing, and a huge congratulations.
You're the best, man. Thank you. I'm a little banged up, so I'm going to go crush some electrolytes, and I look forward to hearing the rest of the pod. But you guys are the best. Thanks for the call.
Absolutely. Congrats. Good playing.
Thanks, man.
See ya. Yeah, I mean,
Stu Hagestad.
he's not slowing down.
I was going to say, that was my takeaway from that. You asked him for an age limit, and he wouldn't give you one.
No.
He's in. He's all in.
I want to talk about your home's security for a minute. I used to think home security was just an alarm that goes off after a break-in, scaring the intruder off, getting a neighbor's attention if you're lucky. But that's a reactive approach. By the time an intruder is in your home, it is too late. Your feeling of safety is shattered. That's why real security should stop a crime before it even starts. That's why you could trust Simply Safe. Their system is designed to be proactive, not reactive. And here's how. They use smart AI-powered cameras to identify threats lurking outside your home and immediately alert Simply Safe's professional monitoring agents. These agents intervene in real time before the break-in even begins. They access two-way audio to confront the person, trigger sirens and spotlights to scare them off, and request rapid police dispatch when needed, all helping to stop the intruder while they're still outside. I've had Simply Safe for years at my home, and it's been incredible to use.
Yeah, we have it here. We have maybe 6 cameras all in all. We got obviously the doorbell. You got a bunch of cameras around the house, backyard. My favorite part is that the light comes on as a spotlight whenever you trigger the motion sensor. So on the backyard, all the little walkways around the house, places that get really dark at night, you can if anyone walks by, even if a freaking raccoon goes by, the light hits it. It's such a bright spotlight that you didn't even know was a part of the camera. it's amazing. Simply has kept us safe for I think at this point 3 or 4 years now. We've been using it. Never changed. I've only been using Simply Safe, so it's been great. I can't speak highly enough about it. It's been very, very efficient and super easy to use.
Visit simplysafe.com/foreplay and you can claim 50% off of a new system. That is 50% off. You simply visit simplysafe.com/foreplay. There's no safe like Simply Safe. Diamonds Direct was founded by a diamond manufacturer in 1995. They go direct to consumer, cutting out the middleman and all of the middlemen. That means fewer markups and way more value. The perks are real. A lifetime warranty that covers cleaning, tightening, even lost accent stones. If you want an upgrade, they've got a 110% lifetime upgrade policy. So trade up anytime, just pay the difference. And here's the big one: buy an engagement ring, $3,500 or more, and you get her wedding band free. Again, spend $3,500 or more on an engagement ring, you're going to get her wedding band for free, no fine print. Just a seriously good deal with Diamonds Direct.
It's a great deal.
That is a great deal. And if you've ever bought a diamond for anything, you know that the middleman in that situation it's just hard to deal with. You're just kind of like going in circles, trying to negotiate. And you're just like, I just want to get this thing. With Diamonds Direct, it is simple and it is easy. And that's really what you want when you're spending that much money on something. You're just like, give me the easiest, the least path of resistance, I think is what they say. That's what you get with this.
It's also just a good feeling, making someone's day, giving them something that beautiful. And it's a great, it's even if it's not an engagement, just a gift for mom, for any of the significant people in your life. Make sure you go on.
Big moments teed up. Don't choke. Start with our picks from Diamonds Direct. Use the code Barstool. That's just code Barstool at checkout for 15% off of your purchase. Again, code Barstool at checkout. Diamonds Direct for 15% off your purchase. And then the last thing I have before we do a couple of voicemails real quick is shout out to Alcaraz. Huge golf guy. He's doing the golf swing celly after every victory that he had. Sergio Garcia's out there. This guy's like Michael Jordan, where he's like playing golf in his off days during the U.S. Open with Sergio. I think the story was that Sergio gave him 18 shots and Alcaraz beat him. And then he went out there and beat Sinner. They've got it. We've done a little bit of tennis the last couple weeks on the show, but it really is fun to watch when you get a great matchup, and these two are not slowing down. U.S. Open, all the celebrities that were out there, the Trumpster was out there. Awesome just event overall for a couple weeks. And, a big golfer in the tennis world is the number one player in the world and winning all the time. So I think that's a nice little love for the game of golf.
Dude, the craziest part about that is that Sinner and Alcaraz have faced each other in the last 8 majors.
Insane.
Like, they are dominating their sport. Imagine every single major coming down to 2 golfers on Sunday for 2 years.
Is that kind of how tennis goes? Is like, as a guy who doesn't know that much about tennis, are there eras of that? Like when it was Jokic and Rafa, was it always those two? Like I don't know enough to actually make touch points, but like,
dude,
feels like it might be like that.
I believe from 2004, maybe 2002, but I think 2004 until this year, one of the former big three were in a Grand Slam final every single one of those years until this year. So it was literally, it was Roger, Rafa, or Djokovic were in a Grand Slam final every single year from like 2004 or 2002 until this year. And so, it's like it kind of has gone through that. It was like Andre Agassi and Pete Sampras for a while. Yeah. And then like in the 80s, my old man loves that whole time in the 80s with like McEnroe and like Connors maybe. But I think that like when those three, Djokovic is still playing, but when like Federer and Nadal like retired and then Djokovic on his way out, I think people kind of expected there to be a lot of parity. Maybe an American would jump up there because it's been a while. And then these two, dude, are unbelievable how they could just, because like think about it, in every other sport we talk about it, but all the other people are trying really hard too. Like they have got They've got coaches. They're training. They're studying tape, film, data. They're like doing as much of it as they could possibly do. They're incredible athletes. They've been playing tennis their whole life. A lot of them, their parents made all these sacrifices for them to go to like tennis camps in their respective countries. And then they get to this level, and there's just two guys that are just significantly better than everybody else. It's amazing.
The Alcaraz thing, I just wonder what that guy's life is like. And I just like can't even wrap my head around it. 22 years old, 2-time US Open champion. You're just on top of the world, and he has so much more to go. Like it's not going to stop. He is going to continue to be in these finals and is just going to win an ungodly amount of gigantic tennis tournaments. And I just wonder what, like, when he woke up this morning, what is he thinking? It's just such a, his life is so elevated. And like, he's
22 years old, dude. He's 22.
Fucking crazy.
He's won six events. Do you call them majors or do you call them grand slams?
Slams. They call them slams.
That doesn't make any sense to me because, like, you think you'd have to win them all for it to be one grand slam.
I guess
because we call it the grand slam. And,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he won 6 grand slams. Like, when I think of that, I'm like, holy shit, he's won 20 events.
Never won the Australian Open.
Never won the Australian Open.
Is that
his weak spot?
He's won 2 of each of them except for the Australian. He's won 0 of those.
And I don't think he's even made the semifinals in the Australian Open. I'm pretty sure he's only reached the quarters.
What kind of court is that? Is it a court issue?
It's a hard court, just like US.
It's a court issue.
Center dominates the Australian Open.
Interesting. And
right? Is that right? Right, because the it's obvious it's grass in Wimbledon.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other
Clay
one's French.
And French Open. Clay is the French Open, I believe.
And then the U.S. and the Australian are both the same court, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, the U.S. is hard court. I think the Australian Open is too.
It's pretty interesting that it makes that much of a difference, that like guys can dominate one court. I guess it's not that different from golf.
Well, I believe, too, the whole deal was like Nadal was so like fast and could chase anything down. So when he would play on clay, the ball like bounces up more. And so he could get to every ball. And so he was like impossible to beat. He won like 8 French Opens or whatever the hell it was. And Ryan Richardson seems to be a little bit of a tennis guru, so he might know more about this than I do. But then like Roger Federer was more of just hitting winners. And so when he would play Wimbledon, grass, I think the ball doesn't bounce as high or as much in grass. So he could just hit these winners that nobody could get to.
Got it. I'll tell you what Ryan Richardson is not an expert in, and it's fantasy football because I beat him this week. Dominated him.
Hey, that was a last-minute panic decision. Not even panic. I just, for some reason, 10 minutes before the game, I was like, I got to start Stephon Diggs instead of Emeka Ibuka, and that just killed me.
That was the difference. That was actually the difference. Feels good.
Trusted a vet over a rookie, you know? I can sleep at night saying that, but
okay.
You know, it didn't work out.
That Bills game last night was fucking psychotic,
dude. I went to bed. It was over. I went to bed at 11:30. It was 40-25. I was like, I'm going to bed.
4 minutes left.
Alex Bush is going to be crying himself to sleep tonight. I'm done with this. And then I woke up and I was like, what the fuck happened?
Dude, bro. It was just the whole game. Even when they were down 40-25, they just never were going away. Like they were getting their ass kicked, but they were sticking in it. I've never really seen a game like that. My brain couldn't conceptualize what I was seeing. Like Frankie looking at a freaking TV or a phone. I'm like, I know that one team is dominating the other, but they're still right there. I mean, Derrick Henry was running through the Bills as if he was Derrick Henry running in like a elementary school like field. No one was even looking at him. He was running straight through for 80 yards. It was crazy.
Dude, I think the prospect of tackling Derrick Henry has to be one of the most terrifying things you can do.
Why is that guy not the number 1 pick in every single fantasy league? I mean, Jamar Chase had like 2 points.
You're talking about a league full of the best and biggest and fastest athletes on the planet. And he's like head and shoulders above all of them. I don't even know how to conceptualize that in my brain.
No, it's nuts.
Nobody can stop that,
strong
man.
Dude.
Yeah, fucking Jonesy fucked me last night in that game. Look at this. Josh Allen, 38 points. Derrick Henry, 29 points. Zay Flowers, 28 points. I entered last night like it's over, and I'm getting fucking killed. That was a crazy game. That was a fun game. How about this stat that they said afterwards? That was the first ever 41-40 final score in 106 years or whatever of NFL history.
So
Origami.
it was a scoregami. It's never been 40-41.
It's scoregami. Isn't that nuts?
Damn, I would not have thought that.
No.
Hmm.
No. I know.
Yeah, it's fun watching those two teams play. I mean, I went to bed early, so like, how fun can it be? But it's pretty clear that those are the two best teams in the NFL. They're fucking good.
Yeah,
I got a question for you.
Let's hear it.
Can you name the two sports teams where the city and the team name share the first three letters?
Oh my god. Say that again?
The city, so like the location and the team name share the first three letters. So like it's the same letters in the city and the team name.
Make sure it's
There's
not my
two of
home
them.
teams real quick. Let me make sure it's not my home team.
So like, just as an example, the Pittsburgh Pirates would not work, but it would be close.
It's close. Yeah, it's PIR instead of PIT.
Okay. I just want to get the idea of what the question
Yeah, I wasn't really
is.
asking the question correctly, but that's it. That's
You
the
got
idea.
it. My brain didn't
Okay.
do it right.
No,
And
that's
Ryan
not it.
Richardson, although Ryan Richardson seems like a big sports fan, which I really like. You feel free to chime in as well if you got the answers.
I do,
I got
but-
one. The Philadelphia Phillies.
Bang.
Okay.
Huge Trent.
Look out. Here's the thing. Here's what you got to do. Alliteration is going to be a big
I know.
part of this.
I know.
Now, I want to be honest with you guys. I don't know the second one. I forgot it already.
That's unbelievable. But okay.
So
Where did you see this?
It just came across my desk real quick.
All right. So the Philadelphia Phillies are one. And
There's another
this
one
is
out
all the
there.
major sports.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Alliteration. Keep that in your head because that is going to be a big part of it.
I almost had Jacksonville Jaguars, but it's close. It's close.
It is close.
Oh. No.
And
I can give you a hint on the NFL team if you want.
Oh, it's an NFL team. Okay, hold on now.
All right, if it's
Hold
an
on
NFL
now.
team,
That was a hint. That
that's
was
a
a good hint.
That's
That's
a
a
good
hint.
enough hint.
That's a hint.
I
Buffalo
go.
Bills. You got
This
the
is fun. The people-
Arizona Cardinals.
If you're at home, just keep thinking these out loud. And if you've already thought of it, we can't hear you, but we're proud of you.
Washington. Oh, I got it. I got
Let's hear
it. Seattle Seahawks.
There you go.
Dang, dude. That's
So then-
fun.
Well done.
Ryan Richardson, what league is the third one in? Do you know?
No, there was only two.
Oh, there's
Yeah,
only two.
Yeah, according to Google, only two.
All right.
Only two.
Wow.
That's
Well
pretty
done.
cool. Philadelphia Phillies and the Seattle Seahawks.
Should we do a voicemail, gentlemen, and then wrap this thing up?
Let's do it.
Voicemails are brought to you by Truly Hard Seltzer. It's all about fun, light, refreshing variety, and a bubbly style to get you and your people in a lively party mood. Truly Unruly is an 8% hard seltzer full of flavor, but still light and refreshing. From the Gallery is brought to you by Truly, and the Truly Unruly comes in 4 flavors: tropical twist, berry blast, citrus crush, and strawberry smash. Get Truly Unruly 8% hard seltzer. Make sure you get Unruly with the Truly Unruly. You can find it anywhere you like, your favorite grocery, liquor, or convenience store, or visit www.trulyhardseltzer.com and use the Truly Finder to find it and grab it at a store near you. That is trulyhardseltzer.com. Let's hear a voicemail here, Ryan.
Hey, boys. Jeff from New York. Big fan of the show. Just finished listening to the Tommy Fleetwood interview, and got me thinking now that Tommy's a full-on YouTube golfer. I know the boys mentioned maybe Trent caddy for him left-handed. How about a 1v1? Trent versus Tommy left-handed. I know Tommy's trying to break 100, and Trent's already crossed that bridge, but maybe we give Tommy some strokes. What do the boys think?
It's a pretty good idea.
I love it.
Yeah. I think right now you would dust him, Trent, which is a credit to your game. But I think that these fucking guys can progress quickly when they really want to.
Yeah, it might be a down the line thing. Once he breaks 100 and he's kind of got his lefty game going, maybe it'll just be one in the series of. I would love to do a bunch of videos with Tommy. I really would. I would love to caddy for him in a breaking 100. I would love for him to caddy for me in a breaking 85. I want to do every variation of a Tommy Fleetwood Trent collaboration that we can do.
One of those things that got lost in translation of a podcast was he kind of alluded to you guys being partners at like the Zurich Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Which
we
is
should do.
as outrageous of a thing for him to say is, hey, do you want to be my partner in a PGA Tour event? Do you know how much money you would make if you fucking partnered with Tommy Fleetwood?
Right, because we had the conversation on the show of like, can you pick anybody? I think it was, why am I blanking? Matty Fitz, who picked his brother, who is a much better golfer than I am.
Do you guys think you make the cut? Is there a cut at the Zurich Classic?
The only issue is I think half the days, 2 of the 4 days, are alternate shot.
Oh, I thought it was always best ball.
No, it's alternate shot.
God damn!
What are you saying?
You missed a cut.
Speak with your chest here.
I'm letting you know that if I was on his team for alternate shot, I also believe we would struggle.
100%. Yeah, that definitely. I want to do it. I don't want Tommy to get any doubts with me, but the format is going to hurt us.
I think the best ball days, like if best ball is Thursday, you and Tommy Fleetwood could go into Friday being like in the lead of the tournament. I really believe that. But I also, if there's a cut in that event, which I think there might be, I think you guys could make the cut. I really do. Like Tommy could navigate you around, and if he's playing amazing, I think you could get around there.
Listen, alternate shot would be an issue for sure. But these guys are so good that I think if I just don't completely ruin it, I think we could maybe make the cut. I think that's within the possibility.
The problem is I don't think that in the alternate shot that like to make the cut, you got to shoot like a decent score around even. I think people are shooting like 800.
Yeah, no, they go low. They go low.
Unbelievably low.
We'll never know if we don't try it. We'll never know.
It's true.
They're like 20. They're like 29 under to win those events. It's like crazy.
I know.
I still think you should do it. It would make waves, dude.
Yeah, if you want the Zurich Classic to really, I mean, it's a great event. But if you really want it to pop off, put me in it. Put me in.
Dude,
Tom
if you guys won that, then I believe you would have your PGA Tour card for like 2 years, Trent.
Amazing. How amazing would that be?
Then how does that work? Can Trent just like go to any event?
Trent has like, he's like certain level on the shuffle, but like for the Phoenix Open, like you'd get into the Phoenix Open for sure.
Let's just do it, dude. Let's do it.
Yeah, you'd be in Napa, you'd be in the Phoenix Open, like the elevated events, no, and like maybe like the Memorial, you wouldn't get into, but everything else, you'd be in the event for the next 2 years.
Like an Excel sheet you got to fill out. Like, how do you get in?
You get in what?
I think that's right.
Like when you have a PGA Tour card, like how do you like get into the event? You just like register online.
It must be. It has to be
like
online.
20 feet out. Just like has to remember his password.
Playing this
one
if I could play in the John Deere, I really think like I would have Tiger like crowds at the tour championship behind me. I really think it'd be like the Messiah. It'd be really fun. So
dude,
let's do it. Let's do it.
That's insane to think about. Like if Scotty Scheffler wanted like one of his buddies who's like a pretty good +3, +4 handicap, not pro golfer, never even took a shot at it, plays at his local course with them in Texas. If he made him his partner for the Zurich and like went out and won the Zurich and he just made his buddy a pro golfer, that's like the coolest thing of all time. And there's no requirements to playing in the Zurich.
I wonder how much of this is true. We almost got to get somebody on the next show.
Anyone can just play in it?
To just be like, what are the facts and what are the fiction? If me and Tommy Fleetwood win the Zurich Classic, what do I get?
Can you even play in it is my question. You got to be some sort of professional golfer.
Well, going back to what was Matty Fitz's brother's state of professional golf when he played? Because I think that was part of what was going on, where it was like, bro, if the Fitz brothers win the Zurich, then his brother's getting his car and it's going to change his fucking life.
It says that you have to have PGA Tour status or be a sponsor exemption if they're picking you.
Listen, the Zurich might do us a solid, and they would just be like,
I agree, they might.
He's in.
They might. Yeah, Fitz's brother also finished top 10 at the Open Championship at one point.
He did. That is true.
He could play some golf.
You guys would get fucking crushed. Dude, on those shots that Trent is hitting, the difference between him and the guy that they're also paired up with is insane.
Who if Tommy's partner's been in the past at the Zurich? Who am I getting in over at the Zurich as opposed like
Dude, like, I mean, like Tommy and like Luke Kwan would get crushed, right? Like, I mean, like we're talking about PGA Tour players playing alternate shot. Like, they're unbelievable how good they are.
I want to do it.
Tommy and Alistair would like miss the cut. I mean, I don't like. It's like you gotta be. It's so. I want you to do it so bad.
We're doing it
so bad. You guys.
Well,
would
it's not up to me, but
over
we're doing
par. You guys would finish over par. I think.
No,
Played with
no. The best ball he would crush. He would crush
Fleetwood played with Sergio. All right.
Oh, no problem. He's at tennis.
Chris Paisley. I don't know who that is.
Okay,
but
and I don't think he played in it last year or this year.
No, I didn't see it this year either.
That Brad Paisley's brother.
All right.
Put me in, coach.
Put me in,
boys.
coach.
All right.
Centerfold.
That's all I got.
No,
that's all I got for the show.
Center field.
That's all I got as well.
Till this Ryder Cup. Can't wait for that. Again, check out the merchandise online, store.barstoolsports.com. If there are any tickets left at Borelli's on Wednesday night of Ryder Cup week, which is not, it is not October 24th. It is September
our graphic.
24th.
I'm sure we cut that out before, but like our graphic that went out on Instagram that was flying. It had a bunch of like reposts and it had a bunch of likes and comments. It said October 24th. When you're doing an announcement for a date for like an event, I think the date is the number one thing you got to get right. We are doing an event on this date, and everyone's like, "Whoa, 10/24!" They're texting their buddies. And then everyone's like, wait, is it October 24th? Are they doing like a Ryder Cup theme party? Like, there's so much conversation going around that wrong date that like people are just like getting wrong.
Dude, during this discussion about wrong dates, I got a Google invite for October 24th. We will be in Iowa City for Pop Punk that day. So that's when that's happening.
Are you going to that?
I think I am going to that. I don't know if that's a surprise or not, but I think I'm going.
I'll handle the event at Borelli's on October 24th. You guys
that
can head
makes
to
sense.
Iowa
That
City.
makes sense why Nick Hamilton messaged me. He goes, Nick Hamilton saw that it was wrong within a second, but he was probably the one setting up the Google invites for 10/24. And he's like, wait a minute. They have an event on the day of Pup Punk?
That is specifically who I got the Google invite from.
There you go.
What was the other one?
It's been a great show.
They got wrong recently. We posted something super wrong recently. God, I can't remember what it was.
Who knows?
The problem is we got too many guys doing too many different things. It's like they're so busy. They got so many different things going on.
It's true.
And it's like we're throwing things at them and they're making graphics within like seconds. So I get that. But like just that date. And it does feel like September has the number 10 in front of it. Like 9 kind of like sneaks up on you.
I don't know if I can sign off.
It feels like a fall like cold event just has like a double digit in front of it. You know what I mean? Like just off the top of the head, you're just
that.
Like
that I'm less on that side of it. But these guys are very busy.
I'm on that side of it. I'm on the busy side too.
Trying to figure out.
Knowing the months,
I
would say is pretty down the middle. But
there's just.
I told you.
Yeah.
I told you. Augustus. He just Caesar just added August.
Yeah, that's right. Which is
actually.
I feel
10
like
months.
It's been long enough now. That's pretty established.
No, they just got it wrong, and then there's like dead silence in our chat of like people just not explaining as to like. There's just always silence when things go wrong. But it is
Frankie did hit a how the hell did that happen, and let me emphasize that real quick. I just emphasize that.
I wrote how did that happen, and they just sent the new one. It's like I mean, obviously the answer is we made a mistake.
Yeah.
Well, I got to go pee, and
Me
we also
too.
got to promote this event. So we got to hop off here.
I got to promote that fucking
pee.
event too. We got the right one up there now. All right. Big thanks to everybody for listening. Thank you. We'll be back on Thursday. Big thanks to our sponsors, Chevy, Game Time, Truly, DraftKings, Simply Safe, Diamonds Direct. We appreciate all of you. We'll be back on Thursday. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.